for coming out this afternoon for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity and recognition of some amazing kids that are going to have an opportunity to do some travel through CIEE, which is Council on International Education Exchange. Just a little bit about them that kind of ties back to what we do here at Lincoln. Is the world is our classroom is their motto, and because we are an IB school, which is International Baccalaureate, it makes it a wonderful opportunity for us to have our students get this chance to travel abroad and learn a little bit about what takes place outside of Kansas City and outside of our country. So at this time, I'm going to have our interim superintendent Altunis step up for a few comments, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. And first of all, I'd like to certainly welcome all of you here to Lincoln today, but I'd also like to draw special attention to some very important people, the people who serve as my boss, our Board of Education. And here we have Ms. Robinson, our chair. Ms. Lewis is here. We raise her hand. Ms. Morris, I think you saw her. Mr. Fierro, and Ms. Hartsfield. Oh, in the back, there we go. So we're certainly delighted that they're here to share in this celebration, and certainly extend all of our appreciations to the council and certainly to the congressman for what we've been able to do. And so I want to thank the council. I want to thank Congressman Cleaver. I want to thank our school board, and certainly I want to thank the parents of our Lincoln College Prep students for supporting the efforts that we have and the things that we do here at Lincoln. You know, our school district is committed to academic excellence and cultural competence, and we do so because of the generous support from not only CIEE, but other partners that we have as well within our community. And what we want to do is to capitalize on that, to bring together an experience for our students and give them the kinds of opportunities that they would get with a foreign immersion. The continued and growing success of our district in many ways are due to those partnerships that I was referring to, and that our students work very, very hard down the path of continued excellence. The scholarship opportunities that are afforded to our students bring an incredibly unique experience that may not have been possible without CIEE and Congressman Cleaver for what they've done for our students, and we do appreciate that. We look forward to advancing our partnership, and we hope that we continue to expose our students to all the possibilities that are afforded to them here in the United States and abroad. So again, thank you very much for what you've been able to do for us and for KCPS.
Okay, at this time, we're going to ask that Congressman Cleaver come up and give a few words in relations to the program. And
thank you very much for being here, but primarily the two gentlemen you see sitting on the front row came to my office in Washington actually 2 summers ago to first talk about this program. And it was exciting to me to hear about an organization that exists for the purpose of exposing young people to a world that is growing smaller by the minute. It is said that IQ in part relates to exposure. And if that is in fact the truth, then the students participating in this program should come back to Kansas City with a 156 IQ and immediately assume leadership roles academically. But I do think that it is a rare opportunity, and I do think it creates exposure. In school, in high school, junior high school, and high school, I can't remember which one, we studied about Greenland. And I probably made a B or whatever it was. But I didn't know anything really about Greenland until I was there. My wife and I went to Greenland and experienced the Greenlanders and things you're not going to pick up in a book. I had a list of places I wanted to go, and I thank God I had an opportunity to go to almost all of them except Rome. That's my next visit, I hope. But when I did all of that, I had been out of high school 20 years before I started doing the traveling that I have been blessed to experience. You guys are so blessed and fortunate. Blessed and fortunate in my world, blessed and fortunate that this experience is coming your way. And I can't tell you the value of it. You are the only one who can do that, and I guarantee you, after you've done it, you will declare that this is one of the most significant experiences that you've ever had. And so, my wife and I have had people that live in our home stay with us from other cultures around the world. And in one case, we were with a young woman who could speak no English, absolutely zero English. And by the time she left, she could sing My Girl. And so I think it was the exposure that also blessed me as well. So for the young people who are going, you go into another country. Let me tell you quickly, I was in Cuba. I'm fortunate to go to Cuba about three times over the last 4 years. And I had a chance to have dinner with President Castro along with Congresswoman Barbara Lee and Mayor Watt. And they have a whole different culture. We sat down to eat at, it was about 11:30 at night. And Castro taught me something I will never forget. He refuses to speak English. And he can speak English as well as anybody in this room. But he said through his interpreter, because some ugly American asked, El Presidente, do you speak English? And he said, why should I speak English when you come into my country? I said, why do you expect me to speak English when you come into my house? And I thought about it, there is a level of ethnocentrism and arrogance. And so I think when we go abroad, we have to be smart, we have to be sensitive, and I think most importantly, you've got to be open to learning. And if you do that, you will come back to this community, blessing all of us because of your expansion of knowledge, awareness, and of other cultures. Thank you so much for the work that you've been doing, and we are thrilled because of the blessing you brought to my office that now will be enjoyed by these young people.
Thank you again for the comments. At this time, I'm going to have Matt Redmond and Jim Pello come up. Jim is the CEO of CIEE, and Matt is the Director of High School Scholarship Opportunities. Am I saying that right? Okay, so I'm going to have them come up, and then I would also like to have the students actually I'll have them come up first, say a few words, and then we'll introduce the students and have them come up and present them as we orderly.
Thank you, Principal Evans. It's hard to follow the act by the congressman as far as things go. That can't be said much better than that. As far as that's what we do every day of the year. And that's it, exactly. I'm honored to represent CIEE here today with our president and CEO, Jim Pello, former board member Kenton Keith, Ambassador Kenton Keith, and current board member Ambassador Johnny Young.
Kansas City.
Here in the front. Yeah.
An alumni.
Yeah. And, Ambassador Keith is actually an alumnus of Lincoln High, so it's an extra special event because we get to have him here too. So we'll get to hear from him in a minute. CIEE is the Council on International Educational Exchange. We're a nonprofit, non-governmental organization that's the country's oldest organization dedicated to international exchange. Since 1947, CIEE has helped hundreds of thousands of students and people gain the necessary knowledge and skills to live in a globally interdependent world. CIEE operates 67 study centers in 45 countries that support more than 286 study abroad programs for 10,000 students from 340 U.S. colleges and 200 U.S. high schools. We're the largest sponsor for U.S. Department of State J-1 visa programs. Through that program, we help over 20,000 international students participate in U.S.-based exchanges. CIEE programs span the ages from high school study abroad up to faculty development seminars for the post-secondary level. CIEE Global Navigator programs, which you'll all get to experience this summer, the reason why we're here, are 3 to 4 week experiences that help students acquire skills of biliteracy, intercultural knowledge, and to gain exposure to the greater world. There are 44 high school programs in 22 locations, and you're getting ready for the experience of a lifetime so far. There's a lot more to come, so I'm not going to say your lifetime, but this is an important part of it. Named in honor of Congressman Emanuel Cleaver II of Missouri's 5th District, Congressman Cleaver scholarships are part of nearly $3 million provided by CIEE Global Navigator Scholarship Program, which are dedicated to providing access to summer study abroad experiences for high school students across the country, breaking down the barriers of cost, curriculum, and culture. We're trying to make it so that students believe in this and they think it's an important part of what they do. Today's scholarship students were selected based on academic merit and an eagerness to learn how to navigate a new language, connect with people from a different culture, and impact global lessons. Thank you, everybody. We look forward to an amazing summer for all of you and hearing your experiences. So share them, take pictures, tell your friends, make sure people know, because it's like you said, you gotta talk about it. I'm gonna have our president CEO.
Did we do backpacks?
Did you want to say a few words first, and then we can do the backgrounds?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Put you on the spot.
This is not quite drama, but it's a little bit mixed up, so improv. Thank you, Matt, that was terrific, and Congressman Cleaver actually did capture it perfectly well. For almost 70 years, CIEE has been in the business of breaking down barriers and trying to open up the world so that we see it as others see it, and that we can understand others as they understand the world. And really, we go back to post-World War II, when the world had been at war for many, many years. And there were a group of faculty and administrators, young administrators, like your principal, who said, what's the secret to peace? And the secret to peace, we think, is to bring young people together and to help them overcome ignorance and lack of knowledge and biases and lack of understanding. So that one day when they go to someone's home, they won't want their language to be spoken. They'll understand that it's important to speak the local language, which sometimes actually is a different language, but sometimes it's just a different way of approaching the world. It might be a different menu, it might be a different series of cultural artifacts that are important to that family or that group. So I have just a couple of reflections that I'd like to share to frame today's partnership. This is a monumental event for us, and we know it'll be impactful for the students and their families and for the school when they return. But for us, it's special as well. Even though we've been doing this for many, many years, what's most important to CIEE is to get back to our roots. And our roots call us to break down the barriers of access for all students from all nations. That's in our founding documents. We are about access. And unfortunately today, this opportunity is not shared evenly by all students from all backgrounds. There's a major bias in terms of who has the opportunity to study abroad. That's important, not just because it changes your outlook on life, but because it changes you, and it helps you in many ways. Research shows that study abroad improves your GPA. It helps lead to graduation success. It helps you getting into college and coming out of college into graduate school or employment. So it is not a frivolous activity. It is a vital life skill and experience that everyone should share equally in. And so through the wisdom and the invitation of Congressman Cleaver to participate, we have here with us today two of our leaders of CIEE, who I'll introduce in a moment, to basically kick off this partnership. In addition to having an alum in the audience, who I'll introduce, what's interesting about today also is that our core missions are common. At Lincoln, your goal is to shape capable, creative, and ethical leaders who drive positive change in the world. And at CIEE, our motto is that we change lives and then our alumni change the world. So clearly we're aligned and we think that together we can move mountains. And how do we do that? Well, we help shape leaders who make a difference. Leaders who believe wherever they are, whether they're leading families, as many of the parents are here today, or whether they're leading organizations, as our board is and our superintendents and principals are, or whether they're leaders in their communities or in their nation, as Congressman Cleaver or Ambassador Guest. Wherever you are, you're leading. And if you're a capable, creative, and ethical leader, you matter. I did a lot of reading in my doctoral work on leadership, and one of the things that I learned in some of the models that are out there is there are three things that most leaders have that drives their success. The first is they need inspiration. You need to be inspired to be a great leader, and that comes from seeing strong role models. That's why we're so pleased to be here today with strong role models. Leaders need a vision. They need a vision of what can be better. And they need to have the communication skills to convince others that there's a better way, so that others will follow, and they can, with confidence, find their voices to affect change. So when you peel back international education, what you find is, in addition to the excitement of going to Toulouse or Nanjing or Tokyo, as many of you will be, that basically what you will find is you'll become inspired. You'll find role models. You'll develop a vision for what you need once you get outside of your home environment. And you'll develop that self-confidence to be able to find your voice and to lead others. We're joined today, as I mentioned, by excellent role models, and I could probably go through the whole room, but I'll start with Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, who is really the perfect role model of a capable, creative, and ethical leader who is driving positive change in his community and in his country. You just go onto his site and see the latest press releases and his voice calling people to be more open, calling technology firms to be more open and more inclusive. Or you can look back at one of his most impressive accomplishments, his vision and his ability to lead others to understand the importance of the Green Impact Zone in Kansas City, a program that not only rebuilt neighborhoods and created safe environments for hundreds of families, but by planting hundreds of trees and rebuilding hundreds of lives by creating jobs, Congressman Cleaver had a vision and executed that vision for his friends, families, and neighbors. He's an exemplar role model for all of us. In addition, we have today with us two former U.S. ambassadors whose personal stories demonstrate the transformative power of international education. They reflect what it means to commit one's life to embracing others, the importance of thinking critically about global events and affairs, and the importance of working your life to make a more peaceful world. Early in their lives, very similar to yours, they had a personal experience that changed their vision for what could be, and today they serve as role models for all of us. I begin by introducing Ambassador Kenton Keith, who's here on the front row. He graduated from Lincoln High in 1957. I was kidding him, I think he owes somebody a paper. I don't think he's really out there. But he started right here. And after leaving Lincoln, went on to a 33-year career working in places like Syria, Qatar, Morocco, Turkey, France, Egypt, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. In his own words, he says he graduated in 1957 and went on to Kansas University. I understand that that's not exactly acceptable in the Southern River. I'm all against him. Because Kansas University had wonderful international programs and helped him on his career. While he was here at Lincoln, he participated in student government, was president of a male student club called Del Magnus, joined the French Club, and competed in citywide debates. In his own words, he says he possibly could have done more, except he discovered the joys of dating. That'll take him away. In addition to his stellar career in foreign service, Ambassador Keith served 10 years on the board of directors of CIEE, where he saw firsthand every day the impact international study could have on young lives. And he was the driving force behind this program to create an opportunity for the Congressman Cleaver Global Scholars Program. That's why we're sitting here today in Kansas City, Missouri, and not in Kansas City, Kansas. Also with us today is Ambassador John Young, whose transformative overseas experience began with an opportunity through the YMYWCA. He took a trip to Beirut, Lebanon in 1965. You can imagine, Beirut, Lebanon, 1965. And that overseas experience changed the direction of his life. He went on to a nearly 40-year career in foreign service, where he served as ambassador to Slovenia, Bahrain, Togo, and Sierra Leone. If you want to be inspired by one man's devotion to improve his life and the lives of others, pick up a copy of his autobiography entitled From the Projects to the Palace. I've read it, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful story of success and overcoming barriers. Ambassador Young is currently a member of the board of directors of CIEE, and he's advanced the important work of resettling refugees from all over the world, and currently in retirement is teaching English to students of non-speaking foreign students from inner city neighborhoods as well. So he's one of those guys that can't slow down and can't retire. The Congressman Cleaver Global Scholars and the Global Navigator students might just be our next members of Congress or U.S. ambassadors, working to drive positive change locally, nationally, or internationally. And so together, we're creating the next generation of role models. No pressure, but that's you. You're going to go out and you're going to understand the world completely different. From the airport leaving to the airport arriving, you'll be amazed at what change you will undergo. You'll develop a vision for things you'll want to do when you get home, and you'll develop a self-confidence that will allow you to lead others to achieve that vision. Whether it's here when you return to Lincoln, or when you go on to college, or when you begin to your own families, or lead your own organizations. And so I close, actually, I think it's a pleasure, for me anyway, by just rattling off a whole group of people that made this day possible. To begin with the Kansas City Public School District, who were supportive from the beginning. The staff and students from Lincoln College Prep Academy for embracing the power of international education as an IB school. Congressman Cleaver, of course, for his leadership and the support of his staff throughout this process. My board, represented by Ambassadors Keith and Young. And of course, Matt Redman. I'm sitting up here and telling stories, but Matt Redman is the one that day in and day out makes sure that students have an amazing experience. And for you parents, you make sure your students are safe, that you can contact them, that they don't forget their homework, they take their medicine, and all those other kinds of things. Matt Redman takes care of over 1,000 high school students every year around the world. And finally, I want to say special thanks to our CIEE donor, Sherry Long. Sherry Long was the one that founded initially the Global Scholars Program because her vision was to transform secondary education. She wants to change the way high schools view world languages and international education, and she's looking for exemplar institutions. At CIEE, we don't think there's a finer institution than Lincoln, and we're delighted to be here. Thank you very much, Congressman Cleaver.
Okay, at this this time, we will have the students come forward, and one of the students is absent today. I'm gonna start off by introducing Cindy Lee, and she will be going to Beijing, China. So that will be her destination. Cheyenne Clopton, if you wanna come up.
Actually, let me get on this side.
You get the right check.
Well, all right.
Handsome group.
Good luck.
Okay, next we'll have Denon Martinez, and Denon will be going to Tokyo, Japan.
Actually, let's have you face your folks there, and then I'll get in the middle.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Okay, don't go anywhere.
Very hot. Tokyo, very hot.
Derek Calato will be attending or traveling to Seville, Spain.
Very hot.
And our next traveler is Alexandria Thompson, Nanjing, China.
Look at mom.
And then Irma Reyes, Toulouse, France. Toulouse, France. We'll have a few words from Irma. Yes, absolutely. That is it.
Shall we do a group shot?
Let's do a group shot right now. That'd
Let's
be a
come on
good
up,
idea.
get around Congressman Bieber, and we'll, everybody get in tight here. Good thing the congressman is tall.
That's his basketball.
Yeah, let's go. Don't go.
Everybody needs to be tight.
Everybody's going to a hot place, I'm sure.
Everybody in, everybody in, all the students?
Everybody's going to a hot spot.
Can you see somebody? Somebody in? Hold on. Everybody.
Where is the summer? Yeah, there's one student out here. Oh, no, she's in the back. Cheyenne. Okay, Cheyenne. Well, see, there's one there.
Great. Thank you so much.
There you go.
At this time, Alexandria and Irma say a few
Yeah,
words. Are we missing two?
We'll do those later.
two more kids.
Alexandria. And then Irma. If you guys want to come up and say a few words.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me today. First, thank you, Representative Emmanuel Cleaver, CIEE board and staff, for providing a wonderful opportunity to travel abroad to China to further my study of Chinese language and culture. I thank each of you for the part you have played in paving a way for me to realize a dream that I might have had to defer or perhaps not have the opportunity to pursue. I greatly value this program and the scholarship opportunity. Second, I want to talk about why I chose this program. And while on this, I must take the time to thank my Chinese teacher, Sherlosher. Sherlosher presented this idea and opportunity, and I quickly took advantage of it. I chose the program Nanjing China Language and Culture because it offered the opportunity to travel as well as learn about the Chinese culture and improve my language skills. I want to learn firsthand about Chinese culture and its people that I would not otherwise learn through media or through America. I chose this program because I hope to plant new and positive ideas and impressions about Americans' culture while diminishing some of the unfavorable stereotypes that have developed as a result of the media. This leads to my third point, how this program will impact my future. This program will open up many opportunities for me. Professionally, I want to become an English teacher in China. Also a teacher, a student, and lifetime learner of cultural acceptance. I expect this trip to Nanjing, China will show me a different living standard, tradition, and lifestyle. Using what I learned and experienced from this trip, I will have a better chance of achieving my long-term goal of being a teacher as well as fulfill my short-term goal. My study in Nanjing will improve my language skill, building competence and confidence to become a Chinese tutor at my school. Finally, I say thank you again, Representative Cleaver, CIEE board and staff, not just for myself, but on the behalf of the 6 scholarship recipients. Thank you for your work and generosity that makes it possible for us 6 students to achieve dreams and get ahead on start on pursuing lifetime goals. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irma Reyes, and I will be traveling to Toulouse, France this summer. I'd like to start by thanking Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver and the CIEE board and staff for giving us this opportunity, all 6 of us and everyone else that gets to travel with CIEE, to experience something that if we hadn't applied here, if we hadn't known about this opportunity, we might have never, gone. I was planning on spending my summer working and saving up money to get a car, and I'm going to be starting my senior year next year, so I was like, I really need to do this. But when Ms. Swin and Mr. Evans and everyone presented this opportunity to me, I thought, why not? I wasn't going to lose anything by applying, and I thought, if I don't make it, if I don't get it, there's always something else I can do. I already have a plan for my summer, but when I found out that I did get the scholarship, I was just like, I can't give this opportunity up. So I really like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity and everyone else this opportunity to travel and experience something that we wouldn't have been able to experience. So one of the things that we learned in our IB TOK class, Theory of Knowledge class, is that knowledge has a lot to do with perception. So to me, this kind of means that if I open my mind and I perceive the world through a different lens, this being France for me, I will learn more. So by traveling outside of the country, by learning a new language, by learning a new culture, I will be able to learn more just because I have seen the world from a different lens. And, in the United States, the American culture is very just handed to us through media and everything, so we only see the world as they want us to see it. So I think that, seeing the world from a different, just an entirely different hemisphere will really change what I know of the world as it is and how I will continue to learn in the future. So I really hope that this opportunity lets me grow as a person, it helps me learn more, and I really hope that it just changes my life. And I know that this will be one of the first of many, many trips I take abroad, and hope that this only enlightens me as a student. Wow. Thank you, guys.
Again, special thanks to ambassadors. We really, really appreciate the connection that you have with Lincoln, Congressman Cleaver and CIEE. We want to do a group picture up here with the school board and the students, so we're going to have that group picture take place. Just in closing, I think it's you really get to feel the amazing feel that we get every day here at Lincoln. Not only from these 6 students and the 2 other partial scholarships that we still need to announce, but from all of our students. It's an amazing opportunity. I'm sure the students that are getting to go will come back and share. That's going to make the entire student body grow from the process. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Support from central office is very important for these things to happen. And I also want to recognize the parents, because I'm a parent, and I would probably be a little bit nervous about sending my children, but thank you for your courage in this venture. I think you will gain so much from it. It's an amazing opportunity, and thank you all again for coming out, and deepest thanks to our alumni and ambassadors that speak for us as Lincoln as a school. So thank you again.